Why in the world did I name my song Simpler Days when there are 50 other songs that have the same name and albums that have the same name? What was I thinking? If you want to know what happened to me and how to avoid this problem, I hope that you'll stay tuned. Have you ever thought about what makes a good song title stand out from a bad one? Have you ever wondered how a song gets its name to begin with, how it gets its title? So let's talk about some examples of good song titles, memorable song titles. So one of the ones that stands out to me is Bohemian Rhapsody. This is just a strange title. Another one is Champagne Supernova. They're just so unique and unusual that it really stands out in your mind. Other ones, Stairway to Heaven or Smells Like Teen Spirit. Like, these are memorable just because it's not a phrase that you typically think of. And you also don't think that this is going to be a song title. But one of the reasons these stick out is because of the uniqueness. And what I learned is that a lot of times when you're in the songwriting process, you also want to be unique. So when you're thinking about the words that go into your song, you need to tie those two things together to end up being able to have this opportunity to make a unique song title. And the reason for that is the next thing that I want to talk about, which is memorable or discoverable song titles. So, how many times have you been in a mall, in an elevator, out somewhere, and you hear a song and you think, oh, I love this song. I'd like to listen to it again. And all you have to go on is the song words. Well, if the song title doesn't match the words in any way, it's going to be really hard for you to find the title. So, this is one of the reasons that a lot of songwriters will use whatever is your song title should also be in the chorus as a line. Because when you're hearing the chorus, you're hearing it multiple times. And so then it reinforces what the phrase is. And then you can use that to then attract new listeners because they hear it somewhere and they're able to connect to the words and then do a quick lookup and hopefully find your song. So when you think about songs that fit into this category, that include You're So Vain, very clearly in the chorus, or Old Town Road, or Levitating. So this is why it's so important to make sure you do have some sort of tie between your song and the song title. And that way it can be unique and people will remember it. So now that I've shared my experience with some of the good and bad and ugly, and we've looked at some examples of what makes a good title, I'm hoping I wanted to summarize for you what I would recommend. So as you're writing your song, even beforehand, before you're finishing it, make sure that you have a good hook, like how are you going to draw people into the song? And there's the idea of using questions in your title or questions in your song. So think about that as a way to draw people in. And then in your song, try to have some sort of unique phrase in your chorus that then you can use as your title. So adjusting it perhaps or adjusting a word, changing one word can change the whole life of this song. So think about that. And then the third one is sometimes you just don't have anything that matches and you're going to have to just pick a title and deal with that. And that's okay because famous songs have become famous just because they're really good songs, regardless of the title. If you think about the Beatles and the song Yesterday, pretty common word. It is in the, listed quite a few times in the song, but it's, it became unique because it's a good song. So in the end, my challenge to you is, as you're writing your songs, think ahead about what you're going to hook people in with. But if you can't, stick with your emotion and the way that you're writing your song and be your own uniqueness. I hope that this video was helpful for you and provided you some useful information. I hope that this video was helpful to you and that you can come up with some great song titles. If you like this sort of content, please give me a subscribe or like, and I will see you on a future video.